Hey guys, Cainebourne back with the Elder Scrolls Online. Today I would like to follow up my provisioning and alchemy guide with a detailed guide on enchanting. For many, enchanting is a daunting crafting or skill line, which people tend to think is the hardest one to level up, probably closest to alchemy in difficulty. In reality, this is one of the easiest skill trees to level up. If you have everything set up correctly, if you have the proper materials either collected or purchased in the store, ideally purchasing in the store is a lot quicker, and you have a friend, guildmate, or someone that you can employ and pay to make the materials that you're going to need, then you're only going to spend about 5 to 10 minutes deconstructing finished glyphs in order to go from 1 through 50. If you decide to go it alone, it is going to be a much longer and more involved process, primarily because you don't gain as much EXP from deconstructing glyphs that you created yourself. And then also, you're going to need a lot wider range of materials because you're going to have things that you can make from 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, so on and so forth. Whereas if you do this method I'm going to show you using another player, you just make one type of rune, period. Either 200 or between 3 and 320, and you simply break them down and you're done. So, with that out of the way, enchanters basically create glyphs that can be applied to weapons, armors, or jewelry. Each glyph has one effect, a level range, and a quality. Each glyph can only be applied to one type of item. So basically a weapon, armor, or jewelry, and only to items within the specific level range. Glyph boosts your stats beyond what your normal armor and weapons do, so they're very important. End game, you're going to have perfect gold glyphs doing exactly what you need to do to get that wonderful min-max going on. But as you level up, they're incredibly helpful. A lot of times, just as a Nightblade, because I'm very squishy, I had a whole bunch of HP runes, early on. But obviously, you're going to have very specific things in the end game. There are 3 different type of runes, or rather, yes, runes that you're going to be finding to make glyphs. I interchange the word rune and glyph a lot and make up my own definitions. Runes are what you gather, glyphs are the finished product when you combine everything. Potency runes dictate the level of the item a glyph can be placed on. So that's essentially your level gate, like with the other crafting classes. So level 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, CP 10, then through 160. That is another reason why it's a better idea to just have somebody else craft the in-game glyphs for you, because then you just need to buy material types for one potency level rather than all the different ones, which means you're going to have to research which one is for each level. You're going to have to go and either gather or buy them for each level. It's going to be a lot more time consuming than just buying one big bundle of end-game stuff. Essence runes are the ones that determine the exact effects of the glyph. So whether or not it's like fire, or shock, or a stat like stamina, health, magicka, that sort of thing. So they're important, but they don't have basically a level gate or a rarity gate on them. They're just doing the effects. Aspect runes are the ones that determine the rarity, and there's only 5 of those, so I can list those off. That's Ta for white, Jajota for yellow, Danata for blue, Rakuda for purple, and Kuda for yellow. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using Danata just to save money, because overall the cost is going to be about 5 to 8k gold versus probably 10 to 16k gold if you use Rakuda. You will need significantly less materials, so they'll be easier to find, and the time will be a little bit quicker, but it's pretty darn quick even with blue, so I'm going to be happy there. As far as obtaining the runes, as I alluded, you're going to want to just probably buy them. They don't cost that much, as I just mentioned the exact prices. So that's the way I would go. It's infinitely quicker, but you can, of course, gather them. They're going to be found in nodes throughout the world that are very obvious and easy to see. They're little stone statues with either a blue, gold, or red light inside of them, determining, whether or not it's a potency, essence, or an aspect rune. Blue is going to be for potency, the green is going to be for essence, and red is going to be for aspect. You can also obtain runes from deconstructing glyphs. So if you're looting glyphs out in the world, or stuff like that, or the things that you've made, or what you're going to be deconstructing here to level up, you're going to get it a lot more runes because you get them from deconstructing glyphs. Once you have them, you need to seek out a crafting station. A crafting station or enchanting station basically just looks like these little three-pronged crystals here. And you're going to want to go up to an enchanting table, and one of those will be found right over here. I do also want to add that when you are first using runes, they are untranslated, so they're unknown. You have no idea what is going to happen when you put them together. When you do put them together like this, it is going to be known as translating, and it is going to tell you now what they do. So now I know that Matakari does spell harm and things like that. Once you have combined and created a successful rune, it is going to actually show you the rune that will be created instead of saying unknown. As far as actually applying glyphs or enchanting your armor or weapons, it's fairly straightforward. You go into your paper doll or inventory here, and you just basically click on the armor piece, right click, and then just hit enchant. And if you have a enchantment or glyph that is going to be for that proper level, you're going to select it in this list, and then go ahead and hit E or click on enchant. There are tons and tons of combinations, and as I always say, I don't want to ruin all the fun. You're going to want to do some experimentation and figure out a lot of this on your own. However, there are tons and tons of guides, as this game has been out for 3 years, so you can definitely find spreadsheets, text guides, videos, things that go through all of the various combinations. There are also a plethora of add-ons that you can run that will tell you ahead of time what things are going to do. So you can find all that information readily. The purpose of this video is just so you understand what is enchanting, what is it used for, and then how to level it up very quickly. And I will add in that this is another very profitable trait to have, because everybody needs enchantments. And if you're sitting there if you followed all my guides, and you're making people food and potions and enchantment glyphs, I think that you're going to be pretty well off in terms of making money. Okay, so if you've decided to go the fastest possible route, which is purchasing the materials and then sending them to another player who will then construct what you need and then send it back to you, and you will break it down at the enchantment table to hit level 1 through 50 as fast as humanly possible, these are the specific materials that you're going to need, as well as the amounts. Now, they will vary depending on some factors here, so pay attention to this part of the video. If you are going to want to go the most efficient way possible, and money is no object, and you can spend between 10 and 15k, then purchase 200 Rakuta, which are Aspect Improvement 3 runes. And these aspect runes are color-coded, just like everything else in the game, from white through gold. Gold would be outrageous, so purple is probably going to be the fastest reasonable thing that normal humans are going to do. The benefit from gold is definitely not worth the cost. With this route, you're going to need about 200 of everything, so that means 200 of aspect, 200 of potency, and 200 of essence, which I'll cover shortly. Instead, I am going to be a little bit more frugal and going to go with Denata, which is the next step down, improvement level 2. It's the blue version. If you're going to do that, you're going to need about 250 of everything. For me, I'm already leveled probably 10 in enchantment just from breaking down random stuff as I went, so I kind of went with an oddball number of about 220. We'll see how that works out for me. Next, besides aspect, I mentioned potency. Potency runes are going to be important that they are improvement level 10. That's really all you need to know, and that's going to be either Rajira or Jihad. So if you can find either one of those, and Jihad is Jehade, and Rajira is obviously right here in front of your face. So look, search those out, find them, and get 200 if you're using Rakuta, or 250 if you're going with Denata as your aspect. And then finally, you're just going to need some essence runes. They don't really matter. I mean, you need them, but there's not a certain quality or anything requirement. I happen to go with Meep, which is shock, because I already had a ton of them. Those are very inexpensive. And again, you're going to need 200 if you went with Rakuta. And if you went with Denata, then you're going to need about 250. All told, this cost me, like I said, about $6,000, or rather gold pieces, and it would be $15,000 or so if you go with Rakuta. So these are the materials that you would need. And again, now at this point, I'm going to send it to another player, have them construct me what I need, which I'll show you in just a moment, and then we'll sit here and break it down at the table and show you how quickly it goes to hit level 50. This whole process is very quick. You can extend the process by gathering the materials instead of buying them if you don't want to spend any money. You can expand this process a lot by deciding not to make a friend or a guildmate or pay somebody and sit there and break everything down yourself and go in sections and level up the skills. That's going to take a lot longer, but I will make a more detailed guide that way if you guys prefer it. I just think of this, it is an MMO. There's tons of people out there. You can definitely meet other people and get this done. It's not that bad. But let me know in the comments if you would prefer to have me make a separate guide showing you how to do it completely solo. Hey guys, a quick edit I'm adding in here in case you don't make it to the end of the video. I discovered my calculations of the amount needed was off slightly. It definitely is 200 with going with the purple aspect, Rakuda. But if you're going blue, Donata, then you're going to need to adjust your number for all of your resources to probably 300. Maybe even 320 to be safe. It ended up taking me about 266 and I was starting from level 13. So my apologies, it definitely was 200 with purple, but if you're going to go Donata, then adjust everything up to 300 to 320. Okay, so these things do not stack. It appears they do when you're at the table, but in your inventory, they're individual. So I'm going to have to do this in sections. I don't typically make you watch me sit there and level up through deconstructing every piece anyway. So far, she's handed me off 5 of them. So it is making the superb glyph of shock blue. It would be purple if you were using Rakuda, but I am using Donata. So, and I'm already actually level 12 before I'm even starting. So this should go pretty quickly. Actually incredibly quickly. And this is why this is a really nice way to do it. Because as you can see, I am just flying through the levels here. Okay, so I've got another fresh stack of 50. She's basically making them as I am deconstructing them. So again, emphasis on having a friend involved. This is really cool. If you were having a stranger do it, it would be way easier if you were somehow in a guild together and you could go through a guild bank, because she's literally making 50, handing me 50. I break them down. She's making 50 hands. So the logistics of it is kind of annoying. Once they're made, they don't stack. The materials stack, but the finished product does not stack. So that part can be pretty tedious. So we're going to go ahead and make the next 50. All right, so we're back with 20 more. So this is going to be a total of 270. So I would highly recommend, if you're starting from 0, to revise the number to 30 to to 30 to 300 or 320 if you're going to go blue, or just go purple and don't be cheap like me. It would have cost me probably 6,000 or 7,000 gold extra, but I'm just trying to be incredibly frugal. So let's go ahead and finish this off. Fingers crossed that this is going to hit me to level 50, because I think my crafter friend is probably getting annoyed with me. Oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Level 50. All right, so it took exactly 266, I think, being at level 13. So I would highly recommend to you guys 300 to 320 of everything if you're going with blues. And apparently it's only 200 with purple, so that might actually make sense. But cost-wise, I still saved quite a bit. So now I am a master enchanter. Alright, so now that you're a level 50 enchanter, I just want to breeze through the skill tree, which is pretty straightforward. But just in case anybody has any questions, first up, you've got aspect improvement. If you were leveling up yourself, this is a no-brainer. You need 1 through 4 to even level the skill tree and make the higher tier items. But clearly now that we're a max level, we definitely want to max this out. Same thing with potency improvement. You've got to be able to make the end game runes. Otherwise, what is the point of this crafting tree? As far as keen eye for rune stones, I would skip that one. This is the one time where I don't think it makes sense, because basically keen eye for all the crafting trees allows you to see the nodes that you can harvest easier. And these nodes are incredibly obvious. They're lit up, they're large. I don't see any reason to waste those 3 skill points. I'd save them unless you have nowhere else to put them. Hireling, as always, is a no-brainer. 1 point gives you, runes there that you're going to receive for free in your email every 24 hours. With the maximum 3 points, you can get it every 12 hours, so twice a day. Obviously, an awesome, easy way to get items, especially kudas, which are the gold ones. You don't have to sit there and farm for those forever for your endgame gear. They'll just be emailed to you. And then finally, there's runestone extraction. I'll leave this one up to you. I personally am not going to waste the points. As you break down glyphs, you're going to get more runes. I can just go and buy them. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up my enchanting guide. It seems like everybody really enjoyed the provisioning and the alchemy guide, so hopefully this one is well received as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or things that need further clarification, as always, let me know in the comment section. I can direct you to some guides, like I said, with spreadsheets that talk about all of the different combinations. It can get pretty complicated, as especially there are subtractive and additive runes as well that will then change the other runes to have different effects. So if you guys get stuck or confused or need some help with that, feel free to ask questions and I can direct you in the right area. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate the support for the channel. It's been insane, and I can't wait to continue to make content for Elder Scrolls Online, as I absolutely love this game.